Do this shit until they murder me.
Well, as you guys saw, I got this sucker running. Finally, had to go through some hairy situations, but I got it done. So it looks a little different than the last time I showed it. Little overview of what I had to fix, what went wrong, and hopefully you guys can avoid that mistake. The crank sensor problem that I was having was due to the crank trigger wheel on the inside of the timing cover was reversed, and I personally didn't know that you could reverse this. So I just switched it from inside to outside. Of course, you have to redo the entire timing side. That wasn't fun, but it is doable in the car in an MR2. I don't know why my camera's a little twitchy today, but so yeah, it wasn't fun, but I got it done. And the other issue was that the injectors, as you can see, you got these blue covers now, these blue cups. The ones that I got before, they're 1000cc. These are also 1000cc. Weren't firing correctly, even though they were delivering fuel. The dead times and the I guess the milliseconds that they fire in the ECU were showing me at idle like 50 to 60, and these are around a 2 to 3 range at idle. So I mean, they just weren't. So regardless, we got them switched out, and we got that figured out. So let me get to the other side and show you guys what's up. All right, as I was saying, so the injectors were, they had to be swapped out. And then, of course, I told you guys about the crank trigger. Everything else was, I guess, on the wiring, the fuel side. So, actually, I don't know why it came up this way. So the fuel pressure regulator, this is an aeromotive unit. And as you can see there on the wall. Now, every other aeromotive or every other unit that I've ever used has the feed from the rail coming from the bottom of the FPR. So that bottom fitting there, where the black part is, so the very bottom of that, I don't know if I can get in there, is usually where the fuel feed comes from the fuel tank. That is not the case with this one. The fuel feed is from the side, and then if you're running a dual rail system, you got to use the bottom and the side as well as a return. But since we're returning straight to the tank and not through the FPR, we had to use this as a feed, this side here as a feed, and this as the main connection that goes to the rail. It was a little weird, but I got it to work. I was wondering why the fuel pressure wasn't going up, it was going down. But either way, we got that figured out. All the wiring has been sorted, all that stuff has been done. The only other things that I have to do now to button up the car is to bleed the coolant, which I'm already getting ready to do, or I've been doing. I think there may be an issue with the thermostat not opening all the way, or not opening at all, because I'm feeling the lines on the passenger side of the car and they're cold. So I don't know, might have to take that apart and see what's up. But other than that, it's just the clutch line. I got to bleed that, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is going to be done outside of here, outside of my garage, like some of the boost stuff, some of the boost control stuff. And of course, going to get this intake temperature sensor welded to this pipe. But that's later. I mean, I'm just have it zip tied there for now. But other than that, like, my buddy came over, the owner of the car came over and wrapped his pipes in gold. He's a big fan of gold, as you can see from his heat shield there. And of course, he did his intercooler. And honestly, like, this is just going to add more heat reflective capabilities. And so we have the carpet, we have this cardboard, we have the steel firewall. This is going to stay nice and cold. This is all his air to water ice box is all done. All this stuff is done. Everything is done. The only other thing that we're gonna this car is gonna go straight to the exhaust shop. This is a temporary measure. This is mine, and yeah, this is just to get it to the exhaust shop so it doesn't shoot the exhaust straight into the pipe. So that about does it for this project. I'm gonna go ahead and close this portion out and get back to you guys in a minute. Hey y'all, Louis from VegasBoost. I wanted to take this opportunity to address a few things that I've been messaged about. quite often actually, and that was one of them is that I said in a previous video that I want to show up on camera a lot, as in show my face, mainly because I thought the channel should be more about my projects instead of me. But I received some feedback from you guys, and like always I listen, and I think I'm just gonna go, it seems more personal, you guys have said, to show myself in the video, so I will include myself going forward. So hopefully, you know, that satisfies some of those people out there who've been telling me, like, why don't you show up on camera? A few other things that I wanted to address is, one of the big ones is I've been asked a lot, I don't know if it's hate, skepticism, or maybe constructive criticism, as to why I take so long to build a car, or at least do this one. This isn't my job. YouTube isn't a full-time thing for me. This is just for fun. And I'm documenting this because I know a lot of people out there need a lot of help with some of the stuff that I'm doing. And my full-time job, I'm a software engineer. I'm an application software engineer, and I work 10 hours a day. And I work from home mostly, but still, you know, it does take its toll. And this is, like I said, this is not my full-time job. I do this for fun. So it does, you know, like I said, since this is not my car and I have to wait on approval for like modifications to the car, like they say like, hey, this part didn't work, or this part failed, I need to ask my buddy who owns it, be like, hey, this failed, I need to get your approval to buy this, or I need money because I ran out, because he'll give me funds, and when he runs out, I'll cover, and then vice versa. That kind of keeps the ball rolling. But you know, I don't have a rolling capital for this stuff, as I'm just doing this going forward. I just purchased my house last year, so that kind of put a big halt on my own projects, which is why I chose to do this one for my buddy, because I didn't at the time have, all my savings was gone into my house. So I wanted to work on something, and this was the perfect opportunity. Yes, he did pay me. For those out there that have asked me many, many times, yes, we have already discussed this in private. I won't discuss any of that online. The other thing that I wanted to address was, and I think I've addressed this before, and I can't remember, is where I source most of my aftermarket stuff, like my parts. Now, if it's like hoses or fittings, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I get that stuff on eBay, and I get it through the same sellers, vendors that I have been for over a decade now. And I've never had a problem. The one time that I did have a problem where the fittings showed up and they looked galled, I got them replaced immediately. And I really don't have the sellers' names on hand. They're a little, I don't know. Maybe if I find them, I'll put them up. I'll put them in the description. But other than that, I get my stuff either for my own stash here, because I have a lot of used parts for the MR2. K stuff, I have a little small stash, but other than that, I either go with OEM, especially when it's coming to the timing stuff. Tensioner, timing change, guides, all that stuff, it's all OEM stuff. Anything else that doesn't really necessarily need that type of quality, like, I don't know, like a oil catch can or something like that, it's all eBay stuff. And it's not coming, I mean, most of the stuff now is coming from China anyway, but I do purchase a lot of my stuff from there, from legitimate companies like Real Street, Titan, Clutch Masters, ACT. A lot of those companies have online stores, and that's where I get my stuff. And I've been asked to reveal, like, oh, this looks like an eBay build, or these parts look cheap, or just the fact that some of the anodizing on the fittings look a little different than the others. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe they were in a different batch and they just got thrown into the same box together. You know that anodizing isn't, you know, it's not gonna, if you put 10 things in there, they might all come out 10 different shades. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to just give you guys an update on the car and answer a couple questions, and hopefully I can have more videos going forward. MR2 based. I know some people ask me when I'm going to work on something else, and the response to that is when the opportunity presents itself. Right now, I don't have access to anything else. The two other MR2s in my backyard I will be getting to. The black car is going to be an NA full KSwap, full Honda transmission, axles, all that stuff is going to be done to that car. It's going to be mainly for like road racing, autocrossing, maybe make about 250 horsepower with that car. And then the blue car, that's a 92 turbo shell, and I want to make that a higher horsepower car. Hopefully that'll pan out and we can get that build going. But first, it's going to be the NA, and I think before I do swap that car, it does have a fully functional non-turbo 5SFE Toyota 5SFE setup in it now with a 5-speed transmission. It's actually pretty reliable, and I'm gonna actually show some videos on how to do the brakes on that car, how to do the suspension, because the shocks, all the shocks are blown. And as a matter of fact, I did do some donuts in that car in my backyard. Let's roll that clip. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. My neighbor just came out and said that's one way to kill weeds, and I've done it a few times. It's a lot of fun. I got a lot of property out here, so I can do whatever I want. I do plan on building my own shop back there, maybe this year or hopefully beginning of next. So for those of you waiting on another project, it will be an MR2, but it will be more how-to stuff. Again, like I do plan on going this year. I do plan on going to almost every racing event I can get my hands on. If I autocross, I will miss the first one because I'll get to that in a minute. Autocrosses, the Midnight Mayhem drag races here that they have, they only have I think 10 of those a year, which is a little bit of a bummer. But I will be attending them and I'll be covering them for those of you that have been wanting some of that content. And as soon as my car is ready for that, I will bring it out and see what I can do. I personally have not drag raced since I was 18 years old, and I'm 35 now. Should give you some idea. I mostly autocross and do some road racing stuff, so I just find that more interesting. Onto my car, I'll put some videos up or some pictures up here. I recently had a big crack in my manifold, 2 cracks in my manifold on cylinders 2 and 4. I was just driving to Vegas for the MR2 meet, a monthly MR2 meet, and all of a sudden the ticking that I didn't hear, my girlfriend heard it, and I thought it was something else. I'm like, oh no, I know what that is, and then no, pull over, and the 2 big cracks right on the runner, right as they meet the flange, and yeah. So as soon as this car is out of here, I am going to bring mine in and tear that down, address some issues that I think there's an oil leak on my oil pan. I might address that while I'm at it, and get that fixed. And I'm going to add some gussets. So it is a Turbo Elements manifold. I got it about 1.5 years ago, maybe. It's only been running. Well, actually, no, that's right, 1.5 years. So I don't expect them to be fully bulletproof. They will crack eventually, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm gonna have to fix it. So with that being said, guys, that's all I got for now. So I will be on the camera more. I will show you guys more of my other projects, and I hope you really liked this build. If you guys would like anything else that you want me to cover on the KSwap while I have it here, please message me, Instagram, DM me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, VegasBoost, all across the board. My personal account on Instagram is MK2MR2, but I usually just post the same stuff just because of the transparency. I want people to see the same stuff. So hopefully this catches you, everybody being well. So be nice to each other, take care, and stay dirty, y'all. Peace.